We would like to hand over to the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Yemi Cardoso. Thank you.
Chairman and board members of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, captains of industry, business consultants and entrepreneurs, esteemed representatives of ministries, departments and agencies, of banks and financial institutions, members of the media and advocacy groups, and other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and happily it's still morning, 5 minutes away. I am pleased at the opportunity to be here in the midst of eminent thought leaders to discuss the future of the Nigerian economy as the Nigeria Economic Summit Group unveils its 2025 Macroeconomic Outlook report. It is indeed an honor to once again present the keynote address at this very important occasion. As some of you may remember, I did the same thing last year, and I was very pleased to have done that. I want to reiterate the importance of this event, not only in bringing together renowned intellectuals, but for the very insightful content of the report being launched today. As a prominent organization in driving economic policy dialogue in Nigeria, the NESG continues to make groundbreaking progress in socioeconomic research, program execution, seminars, conferences, and workshops. And today's launch is a testament to that track record. I must emphasize that the group has made significant contributions to the formulation and implementation of socio-economic reform programs aimed at the strategic transformation of the Nigerian economy. I once again thank the chairman and the leadership of the group, the members of the Macroeconomic Outlook Report Committee, and the hard-working staff of the NESG for their result-oriented approach to their responsibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, I must also encourage each and every one of us to key in to what the NESG is doing. They cannot do it on their own, and they need all the support and collaboration of all of us to ensure that the overall objectives are accomplished. We cannot tire to dialogue, to find ways to strengthen the fundamentals of the Nigerian economy, put Nigeria on a path of sustainable growth and development, and to ensure that the country attains its full potential in the near future. This event, therefore, could not have come at a more auspicious time, given the global headwinds and the domestic challenges that continue to batter our economy, and for which we must fashion a lasting and optimal solution. Our economy has very unfortunately been impacted by several years of mismanagement. Many of you would know that broad money supply grew 13% on average between 2018 and 2023, while GDP, on the other hand, only grew by 1.8%. This imbalance was largely accounted for by monetization of the fiscal deficit, which amounted to 11.5% of GDP in May 2023. This huge increase in Naira liquidity was accompanied by a fall in forex inflows and, of course, depreciation in the value of our currency. Official rates were artificially held high, while real demand went to the parallel market. Also, as of 2022, Foregone revenue from PMS subsidy was 2.2% of GDP and 3% for forex losses, forex to GDP. These are huge numbers, and I dare say perhaps a world record. And it's important to say this and to keep this in view as we navigate ourselves out of a rather trying circumstance. Since I took over leadership of the Central Bank of Nigeria, I am pleased to state that my team and I have continued to work tirelessly to find lasting solutions to Nigeria's economic challenges. I must confess that the pursuit is neither a sprint nor a marathon, but a cross-country expedition. I am glad that the prospects for economic growth have begun to brighten gradually since that time, as seen in the various upgrades and revisions of the outlook of the economy by some global agencies and international organizations. And I hasten to add that we have seen quite a flurry of international investors who are very, very interested in understanding and keying in to the future of the brightening future of our economy. In particular, we have discontinued monetization of deficits, and there are no multiple exchange rate windows. Yet, we must not rest on our oars, especially as inflation remains higher than desired, growth stayed below its potential, and the foreign exchange market continued to experience pressure. The CBN, under my leadership, has continued to make various efforts at strengthening the Nigerian economy and driving its effective transformation for sustainable advancement. To give you a broad understanding of our considerations, allow me to appraise you of the CBN's perspective of the road ahead, especially as regards outlook and our policy priorities. Ladies and gentlemen, the growth rate of the global economy declined to 3.2% in 2024 from 3.3% in 2023. In advanced economies, growth was unchanged at 1.8%, while it fell in emerging markets and developing economies to 4.2% from 4.4%. The decline was attributable to persistent global inflation, tighter monetary policies, and widespread geopolitical tensions. With the rising geofragmentation of global trade, both financial markets and commodity markets recorded increased uncertainties and wide price fluctuations in 2024. In the crude oil market, the prices of key reference crudes, however, indicated reduced volatility, with benchmark Brent crude oil prices averaging $81 per barrel. Sluggish demand and high supply outside OPEC countries contributed to this narrow range, despite geopolitical tensions and the disruptions in Red Sea shipping. Following the 2024 outcome, the global economic outlook for 2025 is cautiously optimistic, with growth projected to remain at 3.2%. In advanced economies, growth is expected to remain at 1.8% and at 4.2% in emerging markets and developing economies. These projections are underpinned by labor market dynamics, energy prices, fiscal policies, and low consumer confidence in some economies. Global headline inflation is forecast to moderate to 4.3% in 2025 from 5.8% in 2024. This decline will result from easing supply-side constraints, cooling labor markets, lower energy prices, and prior monetary policy tightening. Inflation in advanced economies is expected to fall to 2% from 2.6%, while it is expected to decline to 5.9% from 7.9% in emerging markets and developing economies. On the domestic front, Nigeria's economy continued to show steady resilience in 2024, despite significant challenges, which we all know, arising from both global and domestic macroeconomic factors, including the early impacts of foreign exchange market reforms and the removal of the PMS subsidy. The economy grew by 3.21% in the first three quarters, exceeding the three-year average of 3.08% since 2021, and estimated to reach 3.36% by the end of 2024. This improvement is clearly a testament to the results of the recent reforms. The banking industry, on the other hand, remained broadly safe and sound in 2024. The industry capital adequacy ratio stood at 13.70% at end of 2024. The industry capital adequacy ratio stood at 13.70% at end of 2024, exceeding the 10% national and 8% international benchmark. Non-performing loans ratio increased to 4.9%, but remained below the 5% threshold. The Central Bank of Nigeria accumulated foreign reserves throughout the year to bolster confidence and stabilize the exchange rate. External reserves increased from $33.22 billion at the end of 2023 to $40.39 billion by the end of 2024, exceeding several months of the international threshold for import cover. And I must emphasize here that change in our foreign exchange reserves is not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of quality. This growth was fueled by higher receipts from crude oil taxes, increased capital inflows, stronger remittances, and strategic foreign exchange purchases. Despite the challenges, the Nigeria economy demonstrated resilience in 2024, and prospects of future outcome continue to strengthen. Estimates of key economic indicators suggest a positive outlook for 2025. In particular, GDP growth is projected to rise to 4.17% in 2025 from 3.36% in 2024. This growth is anchored on sustained implementation of government reforms, stable crude oil prices, and improvements in domestic oil production. Increased refining capacity driven by the Dangote refinery and the revitalization of the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries should significantly enhance economic activity. A stable exchange rate will also play a crucial role in maintaining this positive trajectory. Domestic inflation is projected to decline in 2025 as the impact of economic reforms begins to take hold. Achieving our overall objectives will require effective collaboration between monetary and fiscal authorities alongside private sector participation. This joint effort is key to fostering a stable macroeconomic environment. Once again, to emphasize that no one part of the equation can do it all on its own. The fiscal and the monetary must collaborate, and they have more and more mechanisms to make sure that this happens. And the private sector should come in where they and really to dialogue more with government to ensure that where there are inefficiencies, the government can use respective tools to ensure that the dysfunctions are smoothened out. And I must say that from my experience, much of the reforms that we have done in the central bank have come as a result of ongoing and continuous dialogue with many of the participants in our foreign exchange and financial sector. The current account surplus is expected to be sustained in 2025 on account of a strong export performance and steady diaspora remittances. Crude oil prices are expected to benefit from supply cuts by the OPEC and residual geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, while increased domestic crude oil and gas production, supported by the full operations of major refineries, will bolster the surplus further. Although, having said this, with Donald Trump's recent pronouncements, drill, baby, drill, we never really know what impact that is going to have and when. External reserves are projected to rise steadily, propelled by expected increase in crude oil production, which could reach 2.3 million barrels per day by mid-2025. Additionally, the expected rise in capital inflows and remittances and the reduced reliance on imported refined petroleum products due to domestic refining capacity could conserve foreign exchange, attract investment, and strengthen Nigeria's economic resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, the CBN's key policy priorities are to maintain price stability and build confidence. We will therefore continue to prioritize increased investor confidence, enhance efficiency of our financial markets, and driving innovation across sectors. In the foreign exchange market, the bank will aim to enhance transparency and efficiency. It may interest you to know that the CBN will shortly be launching the Foreign Exchange Code, which will offer clear directives on the expectations for market participants, ensuring that the market operates in a fair and transparent manner. We will also prioritize exchange rate stability in order to foster a more competitive business environment and encourage the inflow of foreign investment, and in addition, support fiscal operations. On critical sectors of the economy, the CBN will continue to strengthen financial institutions to enable them to effectively support the real sector in sustainable ways. Happily, now that the foreign exchange markets are becoming a lot more stable and the opportunities for reckless arbitrage are gradually disappeared, we expect that there will be more encouragement and more appetite for real sector development. This, in addition to the ongoing recapitalization exercise to strengthen the capacity of the banking system and the stability of the financial system in general. We will also strengthen the ability of the financial industry to support SMEs and empower businesses to thrive, especially through the establishment of the National Credit Guarantee Company to de-risk lending to critical sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, the Central Bank of Nigeria has an unwavering commitment to upholding the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in the banking industry. I had earlier on made reference to the launching of the CBN Foreign Exchange Code, but on a more general level, the CBN has taken the transformative step of setting up a compliance department with the objective of addressing past challenges, aligning with global standards, and building a more transparent and reliable financial sector that can drive Nigeria's economic growth and development. This department will be inward-facing and outward-facing as well. The department will be functional by the end of February. So I would advise you all to stay tuned. In 2024, the CBN introduced key reforms and initiatives aimed at bolstering Nigeria's global credibility and stabilizing the naira, given the importance of a stable exchange rate for price stability and economic coherence. Part of the CBN strategy is to enhance Nigeria's credibility at the global level while addressing our nation's unique challenges. During the past year, we took decisive actions such as clearing verified foreign exchange commitments totaling about 7 billion, discontinuing the CBN's quasi-fiscal interventions, and unifying multiple exchange rate windows. Other major initiatives in 2024 included reforms in the foreign exchange market and remittances. We also supported increased financial inclusion and diaspora engagement. And of course, we strengthened compliance measures and private sector growth initiatives. Much of these will continue in 2025. They'll be strengthened and they'll be deepened. The introduction of the foreign exchange codes, the electronic foreign exchange matching system, and the foreign currency disclosure deposit repatriation and investment scheme will enhance market efficiency and transparency. These, of course, as I've said, and efficient in the foreign exchange market and reduce the disparity between the bureau de change and official exchange rates and foster stability in the market. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that so far we can see the results of a lot of those efforts on our market. We are definitely going to strengthen our mechanisms to constantly be on the watch out for the market participants and to ensure that all those who are in that market are subjected to the best practices, and those who fail to conform will be appropriately dealt with. To boost, now these were deployed to increase transparency and efficiency in the foreign exchange market, reduce disparity between the bureau de change and official exchange rates, and foster stability in the market. I think we can all see that. And as I said, that is something that is going to continue. To boost diaspora remittances through formal channels, the bank equally granted approval in principle to 14 new international money transfer operators and also launched the non-resident BVN recently to enable Nigerians overseas to have access to banking services in the place of their birth. Again, a clear example of recent initiatives and recent products which we have launched that are in response to the dialogue we've had with many people overseas, understanding their problems, understanding the opportunities they are looking for in Nigeria, and able to make life much easier for them through launching these particular products. And I'm very, very confident that we are going to see a very positive outcome from, in fact, when I say I'm very, very confident, we're already seeing the impact is already starting to show. The IMTOs and foreign remittances, it's remarkable. There's something that I always say, there's nothing better than creating all we like, that, hey, our economy is experiencing very, very grave difficulties. Foreign exchange is dwindling. Oil prices are down. oil price production is down. What are we going to do? But rather than do that, we had to look for new ways and new opportunities. And we are seeing and are very pleased with the outcome of what is coming out of all this. And my last discussions with the diasporans in Washington and in Texas later last year, everybody's committed, very, very committed to doubling the levels that we are in. So there's good things ahead on the foreign exchange side, as far as I can see. Our achievements with these reforms have been encouraging, and we will continue to materialize into the long term. Our efforts have resulted in significant economic milestones in 2024, with over $6 billion in foreign capital inflows into Nigeria, external reserves exceeding 40 billion, signaling growing investor confidence. Again, we emphasize reserves going up, not just in numbers, but in the quality of our reserves. As we progress through 2025, we aim to ensure that the reforms and market-oriented policies will support a more competitive business environment. These developments carry significant implications for businesses operating in Nigeria, requiring them to adapt to an evolving economic landscape. Yes, there's a lot to be said for the fact that we've found ourselves in a situation where the foreign exchange rate has adjusted. That has its negatives for those, especially in a situation where we realize that we are so import dependent. But it also has offered an opportunity. And that opportunity, believe me, I see a lot, especially foreign investors coming in to want to take advantage of it. Because at this stage in the game, our currency is a lot more competitive, and the implications for exports and the implications for productive activity is significant. By way of conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that the Central Bank of Nigeria remains a proactive monetary authority with the goal of ensuring price stability, monetary stability, and exchange rate stability. We will continue to evolve innovative policies and initiatives that support the critical sectors of our economy and deliver the all-round sustainable growth and advancement that we all desire. Once again, I thank the Nigeria Economic Summit Group for giving me this opportunity to come and address this very important body that is here this morning, going on to the afternoon. And I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Governor.